This is a complicated story of a simple case of keratoconus and how one thing led to another. Let me take you all through this long and turbulent journey of its management and the things which we learned in the process. This is a story of a 20-year-old gentleman, just another case of keratoconus in both eyes. Vision was 6/9 in the right eye and 6/6 in the left eye. Pentacam confirmed progression in the right eye, for which he underwent collagen cross-linking. The procedure was uneventful. However, the lightning struck on day 3. He presented to us with a perforated corneal ulcer. With such a short history and severe collagenolysis, our clinical suspicion was towards Pseudomonas infection. There are few case reports of microbial keratitis including Pseudomonas in the literature. Systemic workup revealed no abnormalities or source of infection. He underwent an emergency large diameter therapeutic corneal transplant under general anesthesia on the same day. The results of microbiology workup was a surprise. The organism responsible was Staph aureus, sensitive only to gentamicin. But clinical picture was not typical. Post-operatively, he did well, and in spite of a large graft, he achieved best corrected vision of 6/18. So let me share what I learned from this. A simple procedure of collagen cross-linking can have potential sight-threatening complications like microbial keratitis. Hence, aseptic precautions are must, and bilateral simultaneous surgeries may not be the best idea. The infection may behave differently following collagen cross-linking. A year later, he presented with total cataract. All sutures were out and he had corneal astigmatism of 6.5 diopter. He underwent phaco with toric intraocular lens implantation. A 13 diopter toric IOL of T9 model was selected, which would correct 6 diopter of astigmatism in IOL plane. Post-operatively, he had an excellent outcome with uncorrected vision improving to 6/9. So, the things one must know here: in post-PK cataract surgery, toric IOL can be considered for regular astigmatism, which is less than 6 diopter at the IOL plane, and if DSEC is planned in the event of graft failure. Non-toric IOL are reserved for the rest of the cases. 5 months later, he went to his village, where he was given 3 units of blood transfusion for no known reasons. 3 weeks later, he presented with a sudden drop in the vision of 3 days duration. He had a hyperacute corneal allograft rejection. He was given IV methylprednisolone and topical steroid, but we could not salvage his graft. He required an NDSEC. The point to ponder here are: hyperacute graft rejection can follow blood transfusion. Increase in the dosage of topical steroid and cyclosporin eye drops along with systemic steroid may reduce the chances of this following transfusion. For the failed graft, he underwent NDSEC. Scleral tunnel of 5 mm was fashioned. Care was taken not to cause wound dehiscence. The Descemet membrane of the previous graft was not stripped here. The 9 mm donor tissue was inserted using tan endoglide. As demonstrated in the video, after covering with a little dispersive OVD, donor lenticule was carefully loaded into the endoglide. After placing the AC maintainer, a 5 mm entry into anterior chamber was made with the keratome. The donor lenticule was pulled from the endoglide into the anterior chamber using a microforceps introduced from the opposite side. Care was taken not to release the tissue before completely removing the endoglide. Anterior chamber was filled with the air and donor lenticule was adjusted. Post-operatively, patient did well and achieved an uncorrected vision of 6/9, which he maintained till the last follow-up after 5 years. The points to be highlighted here are: for a failed graft, Descemet membrane stripping is not required and therefore called non-Descemet stripping automated endothelial keratoplasty or NDSAEK. NDSAEK can be considered if the eye has a toric IOL, post-PK astigmatism was less and the graft size was not more than 7.5 to 8 mm. However, cases with stromal scarring in the visual axis, very high suture out astigmatism, complicated cataract or aphakia would still require penetrating keratoplasty. To summarize, we had a case of keratoconus who underwent collagen cross-linking, had perforated corneal ulcer for which he underwent a large diameter therapeutic PK, developed cataract and underwent phaco with toric IOL implantation. Following blood transfusion, he sustained hyperacute allograft rejection. He underwent an NDSAEK for the failed graft and achieved visual acuity of 6/9. Finally, Shakespeare rightly said,